Welcome back. There is no question Pakistan's cooperation with the United States and NATO is essential if the West is to be successful in its war in Afghanistan. That's among the many things I discussed with Air Marshal Hifazat Ullah. Here is part 2 of my exclusive one-on-one interview with one of Pakistan's most important military men. The United States has tried very hard over this period of time with this war on terror to at least publicly seem like they have no direct military relations with Pakistan in terms of this fight. But we've seen recently certainly U.S. drones flying in Pakistan, and even just a few weeks ago 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in a suicide bombing. How closely do you, on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, work with the U.S. government or with the U.S. military?
With respect to drones, the government of Pakistan's policy is well enunciated, and that is that we would like to operate them ourselves, because there is otherwise there is a backlash in the public.
And you've been provided, I think the U.S. has even given drones to Pakistan.
No, not as yet.
Is there a plan to do that?
We have heard so. It was Mr. Robert Gates said that. But right now, I think that we have our own system of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance in the areas. And there is certainly cooperation with the United States of America at all levels. And because it's our war, and it is also a war of the rest of the world, the allied countries who are there in Afghanistan. So we have no doubt. I mean, there is collaboration between the two governments, and this information sharing is very much a part of it.
Can you share with us if any of those drones are being launched from Pakistani bases, or are they all coming from Afghanistan?
None from Pakistani bases.
None from Pakistan.
None from Pakistan bases.
Certainly, one of the concerns of Vice President Biden in his comments recently about Pakistan and others in the West regarding Pakistan is that you have nuclear weapons. There's fear, certainly from the outside, that if for some reason the Pakistani government were to fall and get in the hands of the Taliban or any sort of insurgents, that seemed like that would be tragic, because they would then have access to nuclear weapons. What can you say to the outside world to assure people that that's not going to happen, that can't happen?
Well, I think all this is based on guesses and conjectures. If this was to happen, then what would happen? The point is that the nuclear weapons are under very strong custodial controls. The entire world, including the United States, has said that our system of security is very reliable. Our National Command Authority is very credible. And the government falls. How does that happen? I cannot see that happening. We have a politically elected government. National elections took place 2 years back. And we have a strong political government in Pakistan. All organs of state are working in a democratic polity. There is 2 houses of parliament are working. There is a strong judiciary. There is a very, very open press. So how does the government fall, and how do these things happen? We having such a large setup of armed forces, and the nuclear weapons are not lying in the open for anybody to come and take. And this kind of guesswork can go on about anybody. Everybody's setup has been broken into. So I think that we have as strong and as safe control over our nuclear weapons as is possible.
One of the things that we've seen with this war on terror, and this goes back even to Bosnia and to Chechnya, so when you have well-trained, well-funded soldiers and Marines and Air Force, where you come from, the credible, trained military, up against guerrillas, people who are willing to kill themselves, people who know the mountains and can hide in the mountains. And How do those two, as a military man, how do you fight people who are willing to die for their cause and who are doing hand-to-hand combat rather than the conventional fights that you are trained to do?
Yes, you're right. It's from military point of view, it's a difficult situation. However, one also has to take into consideration the fact that the majority of the people, common people, are not for it. There are some motivated people funded from various sources, some misguided elements. So they have all joined to take control of various areas in the frontier region. How do we achieve success? Now that's a very pertinent question. If that's what you're referring to, we have achieved success because, like I said, the people of the area are not for them. They are for the government of Pakistan. They are for the armed forces of Pakistan because it is their armed forces. How have we achieved success so fast? Because we have very credible information coming from the civilians themselves, because it is their country, it is their people, it is their armed forces, which is something which has surprised everybody, because we got the real information, and the common people themselves at many places risen up themselves. They made their own armed groups and they're taking on these miscreants alongside the regular armed forces. That's how we have liberated the areas where we have gone to. They have gone to some other areas, and that will also be in times to come addressed, I'm sure.
Is it difficult as a Muslim to know that sometimes you're opening fire on other Muslims? They might be insurgents, they might be Taliban, but they're still Muslims, from a military perspective.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, whether it is a Muslim or a non-Muslim, if somebody does a crime, the punishment is universal all over the world. And Islam has similar teachings on that. Somebody who indulges in a criminal act has to be punished. And if somebody picks up arms against the government or the state, the punishment for that is very clear.
Overall, though, you seem quite optimistic that in the near term, in the long term, how long will it take to win this war and to eliminate the sort of daily threat of these insurgents?
I can comment mostly from the military point of view, and as you have seen the speed with which we have conducted the operations and achieved the desired results, it should not be very long. However, the other issue is about restoring the writ of the government and putting in the administrative machinery back in place. That is an issue which the government is very much aware of. In that, we will again require assistance from the allies and friends of Pakistan. And when that comes in place, that will actually mean the end of the operations. But militarily, one would think that it will not take very long.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you once again for getting me on your program.
I appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stick around. I'll have information about how you can send us ideas you think we should be covering next.